Hello, welcome to the video. I am Lavanya.
I am Srija. My name is Nandu.
Under the guidance of Dr. M. Prasad, PhD, Associate Professor, Department of CSC, Sri Vishnu Engineering College for Women, Bhimvaram. This is our Python programming course activity on a topic
Comments in Python
indentation in Python
and modes of Python interpreter. I am Srija. My topic is comments in Python. Comments in Python is inclusion of short descriptions along with the code to increase its readability. A developer uses them to write his or her thought process while writing the code. It explains the basic logic behind why is a particular line of code was written. They are just meant for the coders themselves or other developers to understand a piece of code, especially since the Python interpreter completely ignores comments in Python. You can see this in the following example. Comments in Python are identified with an hash symbol and extend to the end of the line. Hash characters in a string are not considered as comments. However, there are three ways to write a comment: as a separate line beside the corresponding statement of code, or as a multi-line comment block. There are multiple uses of writing comments in Python. Some significant uses include increasing readability, explaining the code to others, understanding the code easily after a long term, including resources, reusing the existing code, makes the code easily understandable by the other programmers. The code becomes self-explanatory, helps remember why we used a specific command, method or function in the code, enables the interpreter to ignore some part of the code while testing. So, what are the different types of comments in Python? There are three types of comments: single line, multi-line and docstring comments. The syntax of comments varies depending on the type. This tutorial will explore every kind of comment individually, along with examples. Single line comments. Single line comments begin with the hash character. Anything that is written in a single line after hash is considered as a comment. The syntax for writing single line comments is hash comments here. There are two ways of using single line comments in Python. You can use it before the code or next to the code. The example depicted below shows the use of comments in both ways. PEP8 Python Style Guide recommends using less than 79 characters in a single line comment to make it easier to read. If your comment is exceeding the recommended length, you can use the next type, multi-line comments. Multi-line comments. Python does not support multi-line comments. However, there are multiple ways to overcome this issue. None of these ways are technically multi-line comments, but you can use them as one. The first way is using by hash at the beginning of each line of the comment. The next way is by using string literals but not assigning them to any variables. If you do not assign a string literal to a variable, the Python interpreter ignores it. Use this to your advantage to write multi-line comments. You can either use a single quotation or double quotation. You can also use multi-line string for commenting. To do this, use either a single line comment or single quotation or double quotation marks 3 times. So, how to write good comments in Python? Comments are a crucial part of a program. Hence, it is essential to learn how to write good comments. Here are some characteristics that define how to write good comments in Python. Ensure that they are concise. Don't write generic comments. Only have them if they add information. Write comments that describe the overall task of a function or method and not specific details. Good comments are self-explanatory. Don't write redundant comments or comment. Conclusion. With that, we have come to end of the comments in Python tutorial. Writing good comments in Python will allow other programmers to read and understand your code easily. It is one of the main basic concepts in Python that you must learn to grasp the programming language. With our Python tutorial for beginners playlist, you can easily learn everything about comments and other concepts in Python.
I am Lavanya. My topic is indentation in Python. Indentation is a leading white space before any statement in Python. The reason why indentation is important in Python is that the indentation serves another purpose other than code readability. Python treats the statements with the same indentation level as a single code block. So whereas in languages like C, C++, etc., a block of code is represented by curly braces, in Python, a block is a group of statements that have the same indentation level, that is, same number of leading white spaces. Below are some of the observations that can be made from the figure. All the statements which are on the same level of indentation belong to the single block. So from the above diagram, statements in line 1, line 2 and 7 belong to the single block and the block has 0 or lowest level of indentation. Statements 3, 5 are indented one step, forming another block at the first level of indentation. Similarly, statements 4 and 6 are indented two steps. So they together form another block at the second level of indentation. Below the line 2 statement, which is an if statement, statements 3 and 5 are indented one step. Hence they belong to the single block. And since line 2 is an if statement, the block indented below the first, it forms the body of second if. So here the body of the if statement at line 2 includes all the lines that are indented below it. That is lines 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is how indentation helps define the block and also to identify to which statements the block belongs. Execution. The execution starts at line 1 followed by the statement at line 2. If the condition is evaluated and in case it returns true, then control goes inside the body of the if statement, which brings the statement 3, 4, 5 and 6 to the picture. Explanation. Variable I is initialized to 1 in the first statement. Now while is executed, which is true. So the body of while is executed. The body of the while is all the statements that are indented below the while loop. So print value is plus str of I and I is equal to I plus 1 are executed. This process is repeated till the while condition turn false. Here the statement print and I is equal to I plus 1 are uniformly indented to form a block and also the body of the while statement. Now let us take a look on some points to avoid Python indentation errors. Python will throw an indentation error if you skip the indentation. For example, the below code would throw indentation expected and indented block error. The number of white spaces in indented code should be the same for the same block of code. Otherwise, Python will throw indentation error. Indentation on the first line of code is not allowed. Indented statement should have an attaching statement. For instance, all the statements indented below form a block and belong to the if statement. This is applicable for while, for functions, classes, etc. in Python. Indentation error. Unident does not match any outer indentation error level because the last print statement which is indented does not match with other indentation. There are some Python indentation rules. Python uses 4 space as default indentation spaces. However, the number of spaces can be anything, but a minimum of 1 space is needed to indent a statement. The first line of Python code cannot have an indentation. Indentation is mandatory in Python to define the block of statements. The number of spaces must be uniform in a block of code. It is preferred to use white spaces instead of tabs to indent in Python. Also, either use white space or tabs to indent. Now, it is about conclusion. Python indentation is something that is foundation concept for any new Python programming and understanding. Indentation is mandatory in Python to define the block of statements. It is preferred to use white spaces instead of tabs to indent in Python. Python uses 4 spaces as default indentation space.
I am Nandu. Now I am going to explain about modes of Python interpreter. Python is a programming language that lets you work quickly and integrate systems more efficiently. It is a widely used general purpose high level programming language. It was designed with an emphasis on code readability, and its syntax allows programmers to express their concepts in fewer lines of code. In the Python programming language, there are two ways in which we can run our code: interactive mode and script mode. While coming to interactive mode, interactive etymologically means working simultaneously and creating impact of our work on the other's work. Interactive mode is based on this ideology only. In the interactive mode, as we enter a command and press enter, the very next step we get the output. The output of the code in the interactive mode is influenced by the last command we give. Interactive mode is very convenient for writing very short lines of code. In Python, it is also known as REPL, which stands for Read, Evaluate, Print Loop, where the read function reads the input from the user and stores it in memory. Eval function evaluates the input to get the desired output. Print function outputs the evaluated result. The loop function executes the loop during the execution of the entire program and terminates when our program ends. This mode is very suitable for beginners in programming as it helps them evaluate their code line by line and understand the execution of code well. In order to run our program in the interactive mode, we can use command prompt in Windows, terminal in Linux and Mac OS. Let us see understand the execution of Python code in the command prompt with the help of an example. In example 1, to run Python in command prompt type Python, then simply type the Python statements on prompt. As we type and press enter, we can see the output in the very next line. Disadvantages of interactive mode. The interactive mode is not suitable for large programs. The interactive mode doesn't save the statements. Once we make a program, it is for that time itself. We cannot use it in the future. In order to use it in the future, we need to retype all the statements. Editing the code written in interactive mode is a tedious task. Script mode. Script etymologically means a system of writing. In the script mode, a Python program can be written in a file. This file can then be saved and executed using the command prompt. We can use the code at any time by opening the file, and editing becomes quite easy as we can open and view the entire code as many times as we want. Script mode is very suitable for writing long pieces of code. It is much preferred over interactive mode by experts in the program. The file made in the script mode is by default saved in the Python installation folder, and the extension to save a Python file is .py. In order to run a code in script mode, we follow the following steps. Step 1. Make a file using a text editor. You can use any text editor of your choice. Here I use Notepad. Step 2. After writing the code, save the file using .py extension. Step 3. Now open the command prompt and command directory to the one where your file is stored. Step 4. Type python filename.py and press enter. Step 5. You will see the output on your command prompt. Let us understand these steps with the help of the examples. Example. In order to execute hello GFG using script mode, we first make a file and save it. Now we use the command prompt to execute this file. Difference between interactive mode and script mode. In interactive mode, it is a way of executing a Python program in which statements are written in command prompt and result is obtained on the same. In the script mode, the Python program is written in a file. Python interpreter reads the file and then executes it and provides the desired result. The program is compiled in the command prompt. The interactive mode is more suitable for writing very short programs, whereas script mode is more suitable for writing long programs. Editing of code can be done, but it is a tedious task. Editing of code can be easily done in script mode. We get output for every single line of code in interactive mode. That is, result is obtained after execution of each line of code. In script mode, entire program is first compiled and then executed. Code cannot be saved and used in the future. in interactive mode, whereas in script mode, code can be saved and can be used in the future.
Thank you for watching the video.